Hi friends, all for art and art for all. I have a little picture of a hatchling here, a pencil, and one package of Model Magic clay. So this clay will dry in air, and I'm gonna pinch off. So if I take what I have, I pinch off a little bit for a head, pinch off a little bit for fins. I want most of it for the body, okay? So if I take my head and I roll it and then pinch it together a little bit because the head is a little pointy. So I've rolled it and I've got that guy ready to attach. And then my shell, the shell is going to be shaped like a triangle. So I'm going to pinch it so that it's kind of like a piece of naan, a piece of Indian bread. So about that thick. Maybe like an English muffin thickness. And I want to make an overall triangle out of it because their overall shape of their shell is a triangle. So if it starts getting kind of lumpy and funky, well, you just pinch it right back down to the shape you want. Pinch down and then push back in. And if you push too hard and you need to start over, go ahead and just roll it up. And then push it flat between your hands. And less is more. So just pushing the tiniest bit is what you really want. And so I'm going to make one side kind of flat and then pinch the other ends in together. So I'm going to pinch these ends in together, baby, baby, baby pinches. Okay, just the smallest little pinches. Okay. And I don't want to press too far into the table because you'll get to where it's hard to get off the table. So I'm not pushing into the table, holding it in my hands. I'm holding the shape I want. I'm pinching in and making it pointy on one end and flat on the other. And I hold it with these hands and push it with this other hand to get the shape I want. So let's go ahead. My head looks a little big, so I'm going to pinch it down a little bit more. And so I have a shape that's a little pointy. And I'm just going to push that right on the flat end. And twist a little. And then I'm not going to play with that too much more. I can go ahead and I can either poke in with my pencil on either side to make an eye, or I can take the tiniest little bit and make two little circles. So again, I can either press in to make an eye, or I can make a tiny little circle and press that in just a little bit. So since that's what I did over here, I think I'll cover this other one up. And if you press in too much, it'll go flat against your head and you won't see it. Now for my mouth, I can do the same thing. I can make a nice long piece and attach it. Or I can just go right, holding my turtle gently, that's a triangle shape, and I'm going to push in, push, 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 all the way to the tip. And then flip it over. Push, 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 push. I'm not stabbing, just the gentlest of pushes. Push, 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 push. Like a sewing machine, maybe. And that, I've even got like a little bookmark here. I can press along the edge. Maybe you have a little ruler or something you can press in with. I didn't draw. You can draw, but it can be tricky to drag. So that's why I just made a push, 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 push. Now I've got my triangle, kind of a triangle head, a triangle body, and I've got my extra pieces, which I'll put into one ball and split in half. And then I'm going to make a ball. And I want to imagine it, then I'm going to make it flat. And I'm going to take just the littlest piece off the end. And then, actually, I think the easier way would be to make this into one big ball. And let's split it in less than half. So let's make a big pinch and a little pinch. And the big pinch will be the front fins, and the smaller pinch will be the back fins. So I'll make a ball of that. Pinch it in half, and I'll have two balls for the rear fins. And then the bigger pinch, I'll make that into a ball and pinch it in half, and I should have four balls. Their front fins are a lot bigger, so that's why I took a bigger piece. So basically you want four balls. Two big, two small. And then these two guys that are smaller will go in the back, and I'll pinch them down a little bit, and I'll just set them right on the back and right underneath on the back. And then this fin, I'll pinch down my ball, and I'm pinching it down, not all the way like paper thin, just pinch a little, gentle pinches, and then squeeze it in to make a triangle. Squeeze it in to make a triangle. So I've got two shapes. Till I've got two shapes that are a little like fins. And I can make it thin on one end, on the fat end. Make it thinner here, keep it thick out here, and then just set it right under the shoulder, right under the shoulder. Push down a little, lift up, wiggle, push and wiggle, push and wiggle, push and wiggle. That should be all you need to do to attach it. Now I'm going to make 5 ridges. I'm going to use my pencil. I'm not going to push it into the table. I'm going to put it into my hand. And I'm going to start back here by the neck. I'm going to push down and wiggle, and I'm not pushing super hard, just enough to maybe make the print of the side of the pencil. Now I'll make one along the outside of that, pushing down, pushing down, pushing down, and come all the way back to that point. So now I'll go to the other side of it, push down a little, wiggle, push and 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 wiggle, come to the end, and then one more on each side, push and wiggle, push and wiggle, push and wiggle, push and wiggle. And the lines that are in the pencil are okay. They kind of create some texture. And I'm just being gentle, almost like this hand is just a plate. I'm going to switch hands. Push and wiggle, push and wiggle, push and wiggle, push and wiggle. And there we go. You should have a cute little turtle. Try not to move them around too much, and we'll take them where you're going to lay them down to dry, and the less you push, the better. Again, real gentle when you move and touch. Set that guy down without pushing down. And there's your little baby hatchling, all ready to crawl across the sand. All for art and art for all.